All right. So according to the information we have, the United Kingdom now advises against all travel to Mali, except the area located within 15-kilometer radius around Bamako, where only essential travel is permitted. The United Kingdom, UK, is advising all its citizens who are living in Mali to not leave Bamako. What does this show to you? That Mali is not stable. Mali is not stable. This is what they are trying to mean, you know? Except Bamako, the other parts of the country are not stable. This is what they are showing us. Okay, hello, welcome. This is Pillars of History, and I'm Ice Frank, your host on this channel. Yeah, let's go direct to the Sahel. Let's go direct to the battlefield, to the front line. That is in the Sahel. Yeah. So according to the information we have, Mali has intensified its fight against jihadists. Mali is intensifying both on land and in air. So there is a lot of bombardment against jihadists. The JNIM terrorists have nowhere to hide today in Mali, because Mali is becoming like, a hot water for them. They are no longer having that muscle they used to have before. So according to the information we have got, we saw that the terrorists who are broke, you remember the last video I tried to tell you that they had broke some road. They broke the road in the Nioro-Kaye region. So they made, this road was connecting those regions into Bamako. And Bamako is the capital city and the business center of Mali. So according to the information we have, the terrorists launched an attack, they launched that operation on the road. They broke a lot of vehicles who were coming, delivering goods to Bamako, the capital city. The economy actually was disrupted for the few minutes because they were like it was even not a full day. It was just half a day. So the economy was disrupted. And these guys, what they did, because you remember they want propaganda. And this is their major reason of attacking roads, of intensifying, even expanding to roads. So they burnt one bus. They burnt it. During the burning, occasionally, we don't know how the Malian army, the farmer, came. They bombarded the hell out of them. They killed those who were blocking the road. All, no one escaped, by the way, to be honest with you. Because if you watch a video of that whole operation, it's a disaster. No one escaped because they were able to be captured by all sides. You remember, they made an operation, the farmer made an operation, and they were able to encircle them. So after encircling them, so that's how they did, and they were able to complete the mission without losing even a single soldier and without leaving any anti-terrorist to flee. Yeah, so this is how disastrous it was for them. The JNIM, remember, now in the Sahel, the only problem is the JNIM because it is sponsored by big countries. We have regional players who are sponsoring them, and even they are masters, and that is France, because the way they are equipped, these guys, the equipments they have, these guys possess more advanced weapons to the extent that they can even overwhelm the government weapons, you know. But they have no training. These guys are not trained at all. Yeah, they don't have enough training. They just make training for a few days, then they send them. So they analyze them. So that is how the operation was. In Burkina Faso, the Rapid Intervention Brigade, there is a brigade called the BR7. The BIR7. This is a brigade which is led by the commander called Watao. This guy is one of the toughest leaders we have in the AES. He will never go to an operation and fail to execute that operation very well. Because there is a way he's motivated to. I don't know. He's young, actually. He's a young boy. He's like in his 27s. He's 27 years. But his team, or his brigade, my friend, if you mess with them, you will never come out when you're alive. This is how tough this guy is. So, what they did, they encircled the JNIM terrorists who were in that village. Remember, in Burkina Faso, they have reclaimed most of the land. So in Burkina Faso today, the terrorists are on borders. Actually, they are on borders. That's where the army are not yet to deploy their brigades. They are not yet to have a lot of boots on the ground. But they are planning, you know, it is a plan. Because if you want to do an offensive, you have to have more backup, more and more backup. In case the terrorists overnumber you, or like they come in large numbers as they do, so you have to call a backup to back you so that you can execute that mission very well without losing a lot. So that is it. They are planning, actually, they are in stages. So what the Burkinabe government is planning to deploy a lot of soldiers, because we have seen a lot of soldiers who are training. They were in different training camps, and now most of them have graduated, so they are going to be deployed in different locations of the country. So expect more boots on the ground. And in Burkina Faso, the terrorists are on their verge. Actually, they are on borders. They don't have access inside. So that is it. But it's different to Mali. Mali is a big country. If you consider the size of Mali, Mali is a big country which needs a lot of soldiers to secure its vast territory. So it's kind of challenging. So that's why the Malians have to use more air force than they use the ground forces. Yeah. That's why the Malians have been able to purchase a lot of weapons. The Malian farmer, the government of Mali, what I actually thank them for, they have actually done the best. They are doing their best to get weapons. And these guys are buying weapons day by day. Day by day, you see delivery of weapons, different weapons. So you see that they are really serious on what they are doing. And they want to overwhelm the terrorists, because they are different actors, different terrorists in the Sahel. So that is the information we have. You know? So another thing what we heard about, according to the internal sources, they said that the terrorists are losing on the ground. They no longer have the capabilities to do anything against the farmer. So they are using the Western media, you know, their propaganda machines. If they do, like they sabotage some small, they do a small sabotage, of course they have their cameras. What they do, they record it, they send it to the one who is going to publish the propaganda. Then after they will publish that information. Then they label the Sahel as the mostly affected the mostly affected area in the whole world. Actually, they don't say in the whole Africa, they say in the whole world. Forgetting that the most terrorized state or regions in the world, we have Gaza, the Israeli operation in Gaza. We have Sudan, the war that is raging on in Sudan. You never see them talking about it. We have the conflicts like in Congo. But their focus is on Sahel. What is the AES doing? Because they lost access of being in touch with the military leaders, because you remember they kicked them out. They said, we don't need you guys. So because of that loss of access, they have resorted to propaganda and blackmail and using terrorists as a tool, you know. So they are sponsoring terrorists to do some sabotage. Then they post that information. Of course, it becomes headlines. AES, you see, Burkina Faso is the most terrorist thing. So they talk about human rights. They talk about human rights. But do we have human rights in Africa? If you're claiming to have human rights, why is the UK silencing media? Why are they silencing their critics? You cannot talk about Israel in UK, in US actually. I saw a bill that was introduced today in the Senate that anyone who is talking about Israel in US should not be given passport to travel elsewhere. So you see the level of silencing their critics is. So they are the ones that are accusing the Sahel, you know, of violating human rights. Which human rights are you talking about when you the ones who set those human rights violate them? Which international bodies should we trust as Africans? Africans no longer trust these international bodies. The UN, it's a wastage of time, man. No, let's be realistic. What does the UN help Africa? Remember, the UN forces were in Burkina Faso, in Niger and Mali since 2013, since the surge of terrorism in the Sahel. Since that period, the UN forces were there on the ground. They had their boots on the ground. Why were they not able to defeat terrorism for those 10 years? So these are the same people who are criticizing Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger, their leaders, that they have failed to eradicate terrorism. So they also add on that since France left, it has just worsened. So what was France doing? Remember, President Macron said that Africa cannot stand without France. This is the 4th year, if I'm not mistaken. This is like the 4th year, the 3rd year, because we had a coup in Mali, that was 2021, 2022, we had it in Burkina Faso, then 2023, we had it in Niger. It's roughly like 2 to 3 years. Why are these countries still standing? These countries have reclaimed large chunks of land that were under control of the terrorists. So you come to lecture Africans how they are unable to fight terrorism, yet you have been there for 30 years. For 10 years, and you have done nothing. Let's not be crazy, man. No, this is not how things should be done. You understand? So this is what they say. They have resorted to blackmail. They just accuse Russia. Russia is doing this, Russia is doing... Even if you sneeze, they will say that Russia is making you to sneeze, that it is spoiling the air. That is how they do. Their leaders have failed. Let me give you a live example. UK today, actually it was yesterday, there were a lot of protests all over the country, organized by the opposition leaders, because the government that is there is doing nothing for the people. The people are suffering. They are sending a lot of money to Ukraine instead of doing local things or improving the social life of the Britons. So a lot of protests were there. We had protests in France. We had protests in US. Actually, US is the leading protest country in the world, daily. So these are the same people who have the guts to criticize the Malian, Burkinabe, and Nigerian government of failing to eradicate terrorism, yet they were there for 10 years and they were not able to eradicate it. So how can you eradicate it? Because they are the ones financing it. They are benefiting from it. You know how much? There is a lot of money were paid to the French daily to safeguard Mali. I saw that clip. Actually, I was devastated, You are paying this kind of money, a lot of money, instead of spending the whole of this money buying weapons, training soldiers, empowering your own soldiers to fight the terrorists. You sponsoring foreign army to fight for you. What went wrong with Africans? Are we not able of fighting our own wars? Guys, let's be honest. Africa, you mean that Africans cannot fight their own wars unless if they call outside forces? No, this is just blackmail. They are trying to blackmail Africans as incapable of fighting terrorism. Yeah, as incapable of fighting terrorism. Or incapable of defending their countries. But remember, the generations change. And today's Africa is not like Africa before 1990s. Today's Africa is actually inhabited. The majority of the inhabitants are the youth. We are the ones that are leading the revolution. That's why, if we also, actually we don't push propaganda. Actually, to be honest, Africans are always reporting facts. But the West are coming, the Western media, it has already lost Africa. So what they are doing, they come to say that they want to fact check what Africans are claiming. Africans are reporting on their countries. but the West is checking whether this information is true or false. You know, they are checking, is this information true or false? We are on the ground reporting what we know. The West is checking whether the information is true. So they end up debunking the information as false. You know why? Because they use their bigger platforms. They have big platforms. We have their, you know, the mainstream media. You know, so their work is to blackmail. There is no any positive thing from either Africa, Asia, all these countries they are fighting, or Arab. Only blackmail, you know. So that is how things are going in Africa. And let's not forget that Africans are awake today. Yeah, if I see my fellow Africans, actually, I feel very proud of them because they show that they are really capable of defending the continent in this generation. Whether by force or by peaceful means, they will be able. The Sahel states have set a tone that we can do whatever we want and at our own pace, not at your own pace. This is the Sahel. Big up the Sahel states. AES Simon. Thanks to you. I have a lot of information, but I think some information I will share to you tomorrow. Thank you for being with us. This is Pillars of History, and I'm Ice Frank, your host on this channel. Thank you for being with us.